So they say if you want to get better at the squat, you need to do accessory movements next to your squat. Well, the question is more like, how can we incorporate more accessory movements into our main lift? What is going on, guys? Welcome to Barrookie. It's been a while since I made the DIY belt squat machine, and today we're going to find out how well it performed those couple of months. So, to be honest, I didn't really use it that much because for me it is an accessory movement. I'm also considering it as an accessory movement, but my girlfriend used it quite a couple of times, so I think I have a great idea of how this thing works. And today I also want to test out what the maximum amount of weight it can handle. And I think it can handle a lot of weight. So it's either me that breaks or this dip belt that is rated for 40 kilos. I have tested it with 50 kilos for the pull-ups and it held pretty decently. But I don't know if we are going to test it out for the belt squat, if it will break or not. I hope it doesn't, because I really like this thing. So enough of me talking, let's go into the workout. So, in case you are wondering, this machine can only hold as much plates as this thing can handle, right? Well, guess what? You're wrong. Boom! It can handle a lot more, but I don't think this is doable. So yeah, back to square one. So in terms of the weight, like the chain is at a slight angle, so you could ask the question, is it really pulling me forward rather than pulling me downwards? Well, I can say with this 25 kilo plate and with the weight that I already tested before, it actually pulls you downwards. But you need to keep in mind, you can't be just like loose as a noodle. You have to keep your core tight, keep your back engaged and squat like you normally would. It just will be less taxing on the back, but you still need to engage everything. That is something that my girlfriend found out. Like, she was just trying to squat and she was really pulled forward. But if you really just brace as you normally would in a squat, you'll be fine. Now, as it comes to like the depth, so is the machine like pushing against the floor when you go too deep? On this set I actually had it that the weight bumped against the floor, but that is mainly because the chain was not short enough. So you have to really make sure that the chain is short enough so that you can go as deep as you want. And if you still want to go deeper, what you can do is you can elevate yourself, like use some blocks, use some bumper plates if you have them, or use whatever you have laying around to elevate yourself. If you buy a belt squat machine, it's already at a platform and the cable is running through it. So you could mimic that with just like 2 blocks or something that is solid but a little bit elevated. I don't know, it's up to you. So 75 kilos, it's the most I've ever done with this thing. And what I immediately noticed was the difficulty of actually getting up from all the way down just to like start the exercise. That's why you saw me putting on a block, and that made it a lot more comfortable. If you're making this yourself, make sure that you have something to put underneath the belt squat machine so that you can do it comfortably. That is also a problem that you would come by if you would buy this commercially, so it's pretty similar. I'm going up to 100. It feels a lot more difficult than barbell squat. There's a lot more quad activation, and I typically like squat more from my glutes and my hamstrings. So for me, that's a good thing that I'm using my quads more. So yeah, another benefit. All right, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 plates of 25 kilos. That means this is 100 kilos or 220 pounds. So keep also in mind, this belt here is rated for 40 kilos. So yeah, no, I really don't want this belt to break because the plan was to only invest in a new belt if I break this one while doing pull-ups. So I really wanted to out pull-up this belt. I really don't want to out squat this belt. 100 kilos is a lot of weight to put on this, and it still functions normally. So it's a pass. Okay, so another thing that is maybe not so ideal here is taking off and loading the plates. But that's the same thing with a loading pin. I find that you really, especially with calibrated plates like this, they are super flat. It's difficult to actually get a grip on this. That's why it's a good thing that the pole here is not 50 millimeters exact, but it's a little bit shorter, so you can wiggle it around. Boom. A way around this, which is not ideal, is to actually sandwich a smaller plate in between. So you have like a 25, maybe you put a 10 kilo plate underneath so your fingers fit under there, and then you put another 25, and then another 10, another 25, another 10, and that way you can always get your fingers under it. I'm finding the same problem when I'm doing weighted pull-ups with a loading pin. You just like, they're so well made, they're so precisely machined that it's difficult to get your grip on. But hey, that's more about the plates than about the machine here. So maybe you saw it already in another video, but this is actually so compact. I can just put it here on the band holder of my power rack and it's out of the way. Obviously I store my bands over there on the pegboard, so it's a perfect place for it. Also, I can still use this one, like the J-hooks. I can move with no problem. So yeah, it's also nice to display the things that you've made yourself next to the already thousands of ads that I made for Rogue, which I'm not sponsored for, but hey, so display your things. Be proud of what you made. That is about it. I think this beast performs extraordinarily well. It performs exactly as I would expect from a belt squat machine. Although, keep in mind, I've never actually squatted on a belt squat machine, but this feels like a normal squat. If you do decide to build it, I would be happy to view your project, and just DM me on Instagram. I'll be happy to check it out. Maybe I'll repost it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you are inspired to build something for yourself because it's super cheap. It's made out of a lot of scrap materials, and it's just fun to have your own equipment that you made yourself and that you know would hold. So that is super awesome. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Peace!